Welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 422, recording live inside the Matrix on Thursday, September 16th. I'm one of your hosts, Mo.
And I'm another one of your hosts, Kelly.
And I'm Adriel.
Hey, how was everybody today?
Great, you?
Do you really want to talk about it? Might be Adriel. Start marking down the times. I'm fine. Thank you.
I don't edit out swears anymore. I can't be bothered.
No.
It's too much work. And
well, let's make it worth your while then.
Should we get into a therapy session, or no?
That would be called shooting. Let's go shooting.
So we'll get into what we did with guns. What we did with guns is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearm retailer. And they're featuring a custom shop, Hellfire guns.
Let me take a look. There we go.
Sweet.
They do custom guns. This one is a custom M&P. That's interesting. So you see a lot of like Gucci Glocks. You don't see a lot of Gucci M&Ps.
No, because people usually buy them and then they go and get another gun and don't use them ever again.
But they're such a good base gun. Like the grip is more ergonomic than a Glock.
I actually like them. However, the triggers suck. Not as badly as Gucci, or not as badly as Glocks. But
what about this one though? It's got a fancy red trigger on it.
I know. Fancy red trigger means
if it's red, that means it's good.
Yeah, Apex.
So what's price on this?
Let's go find out. Let's discover together. What kind of red dots on there?
I'm just going.
Holosun 508T. It's pricey.
Okay. What's the base? What is the gun? I can't even see. Yeah,
it's an MP9.
Oh, okay. So with an upgrade to the trigger, that's
and slide. That slide is been worked over.
Yeah.
Dot installed on it. High sights, so dot sights on there. Or suppressor sights.
Okay, so let's get started with Adriel this week. What did you do with guns?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
Really?
Nothing whatsoever. I did I did an IAT call.
Yes, you did. It was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I transferred all my handguns. I don't have any handguns in my house anymore.
So you've given up shooting? Awesome.
Not quite, but
you're supposed to say yes.
Very close.
And then you're supposed to say yes, and then all the listeners are going, "What do you mean you're giving up shooting?"
That's not April 1st, though.
I know.
And then
technically, it's true.
Yeah, but it's not, because like I saw there was an ORPS match coming up this weekend, and then there's a CRPS match the weekend after. I'm like, do I shoot that? So like, I don't want to do restricteds because they're harder to move around and whatnot. But 22 rimfire, I had to keep those anyways for Maple Seed, and I might just run this guy here at that ORPS. So
that's a good idea.
I had this hanging around, and they moved days on it. They moved the RPS to a different day, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything this well. I was going to do a bunch of house stuff, but I could do that on Sunday.
Yeah, we have to talk about what happened there. We know the people involved. What's the poop? But maybe we'll talk about it when people aren't listening.
Get into the news or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna maybe I'll shoot an ORPS match and then a CRPS match the weekend after. Maybe that'll happen. Medicine Hat. No, I'm not going to drive to Medicine Hat. Mike thinks I'm going to go to Medicine Hat. So there's a Maple Seed and a CRPS match this weekend in Medicine Hat. That's a very long drive for me though.
How many hours?
6, I think.
Yeah, but you know what?
Then.
Yeah.
It's nothing. How many hours did Rick drive to get there? Stop your whining.
I hate that. That's always like a legit complaint to make. Whenever I complain about driving time.
It's so far.
But think about Rick. He had to drive 17 hours just to get there. Just
17.
I don't know. Yes. I'm just making up numbers. He's probably drove even further. Because to get to it from Quebec all the way over to I don't know. Is he in Saskatchewan right now, I think?
Yeah, he is. So he stopped in Winnipeg first. Had a great shoot there, apparently. And why are we talking about this? You could go over and watch Rimfire Nation. He was driving in the car yesterday, and he stopped to do the podcast in the car. He podcasted from the car. Now that's dedication.
Mm-hmm. Before the Rona, we did some podcasts in cars.
Yeah, but I could Saskatchewan. There is no internet anywhere.
There must be. No, they have SaskTel. They have this weird government cell phone company that's supposed to be amazing and super cheap.
Yeah, where I was, there was no internet.
No internet.
No internet. There was lots of sunflowers and soybeans and corn. What is that?
Canola. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Canola.
Yeah. So I haven't really done a lot of shooting stuff. I did an IAT call. That's all. Maybe next week I'll have more stuff. By the way. That's all I have to participate. Kelly, what about you? What have you done in shooting this week?
Oh, good Lord. So I was also on the IIT call. It was a good one. We were talking every meeting that we had. We tried to give a little bit of a knowledge bomb, and this one was about cross-eyed dominance and how to diagnose it and what to do with that. It was awesome. It was pretty good. So what did I do last weekend? Well, I kind of went to Cambridge. So first, before I went to Cambridge, I met up with Tracy as well as a couple of other volunteers and in Kingston here. And Tracy was doing the launch of the tour the election tour where they're handing out pamphlets. Here in Kingston, it's a very strong Liberal riding. However, why did she stop? Well, the Kellys are here, and also because Merrick Garrettson's here, and let's piss him off. So, which I actually support wholeheartedly, because if you ever watch him on CPAC, oh my God. Anyways, so she stopped here first, and then she headed off to Toronto and did some stuff there last weekend. But it's not what she did in guns, it's what I did. So Friday night, I also went up to Cambridge, and I went up with Kelly as well as, because we do everything together. And Kyle, her husband, as well as Tamara. The reason that we were doing that is because we were going to Select Shooting Supplies over to Range 519. They were hosting a Ladies' Day event, and we went there. It's a state-of-the-art indoor shooting center. It is amazing. And I just have to say, Dean Carr is probably one of the hardest working, most supportive of the gun industry in Canada. I said that last week about Phil Odell because I went to Odell Industry Days, but just to let you know, Dean Carr, he shut down his indoor range for his members and also for his store for the entire day for us to have a Ladies' Day.
Wow.
That means that's a huge loss for him financially, but it just meant that he is so supportive of the CCFR women's division and also bringing women into shooting that he was dedicated to that. And he was also, by the way, he's one of the most organized. He is OCD. I love him. So he's going to have another Ladies' Day, but probably not for a while because it is a little bit of a financial, it does cost a lot. So, and Kelly and I are arguing over who's going to get him next time because I want to keep him because he's super organized and I didn't have to do anything. He did everything. So I'm going, okay. But also we spent the day there. We had 61 women that passed through the store or through the firing range. We did everything from, so he has one range that's 10 meters and then he has one that's 25 meters and the 10 meter was handguns. So they were able to play with Glocks and they were able to play with both the 22 version of the Glock as well as they had Glock 17, so 9mm, and then they had MMPs. They had one CZ on the line. Adam from CZ attended as well and helped out on the line. So he's a great support for both Maple Seed as well as Women in Shooting and the CCFR. So he's going to be coming up to the Maple Seed here this weekend as well. So it was great to see him because he's actually just transferred over to CZ. What else? I did actually pick up a few things from Select Shooting Supplies. I was able to get a couple of new mags for my CZ because I needed a couple. and also just a couple of t-shirts and different things. I don't have it on today because I was super busy prior to getting on. I literally just logged on as we went live. So I will wear that probably next week, maybe for a pre-election show where we're going to drink heavily. And right now I'm drinking heavily as well. So what else did I do? So I went to the Ladies' Day. It was fantastic. I loved it. Great support. And I have to say, again, Dean organized. We had 20 RSOs and people that were working. So one of the things that I like to do is gauge people, the women that come to these events, of how much experience they've had. There was 2 women that were on the line that had their pals. That's it, out of 60. And of that, most of them were brand new shooters. Their husbands, partners, or their friends convinced them to come along. And a lot of them were apprehensive. I worked on the rifle line. So I had the Freedom Ordnance FX9. So the calibers that we had on the rifle line were all 22 or 9mm carbines. And the reason is because it's an indoor range, and also it's a little bit noisier as well if we put 223 downrange. By the way, did I tell you Select Shooting Supplies? They're awesome because they supplied all the ammo. And not only that, Vortex Canada also sponsored the event too. The women walked away with so much swag. It was awesome.
Oh, that's great.
So the women on the they had fun on the pistol line, but when they came over to range 1, which was the rifle line, they said they had so much more fun because they got to shoot rifle. And so, as I said, 9mm. I did a little bit of Poseidon with them, and also did a lot of cross-eye dominance. There was 8 women that were cross-eye dominance out of the 60. That's a lot. What else? Yeah, just had a really, really good time. As I said, afterwards, I kind of gauged them to see how they are, how excited that they are. They acknowledged that they were pretty frightened. I had one lady say that she was super frightened of the FX9 because she thought it was going to be horrible. And then she afterwards came back and told me that was her favorite gun ever. And she wanted to come back. And so she made me write what it was onto the target so that her husband can buy her one, which was great. Wow. I also had people that listened to the show, by the way. Hi, John, his wife. So afterwards she goes, I got to meet Kelly. And then I got to meet the other Kelly too. And she said, my husband's going to be so jealous. And she goes, I listen to you all the time because my husband. And so he messaged me as well and asked me about what firearms they were able to use. They had the Chris Vector in 22, the new one that's just come out. Cool. So she was able to play with that too. So there was some.
Did you play with it? How was it?
Yeah. It's fun. It is fun. There were some issues with one of the magazines, but other than that, all the rest of the magazines fit fine. And yeah, the ladies had a super, super, super good time. Everybody was super safe. Everybody is committed to coming next year and bringing their friends because, again, they were a little apprehensive at first, but then they said, no, this is probably the best time I've ever had in my life, including when getting married, they said. So,
wow. Okay.
Getting married is a chore. Shooting guns is fun. Come on.
Yeah.
It's so stressful. Agreed. Yeah.
So, we had somebody there. She was a ordained minister. She had so much fun. We had people there that were up to 75 years old. They had such a good time. It was great. Wow. So we got to go shooting afterwards as well. The RSO is something that we typically never do, but we got to play with their lights and the system and everything. It was fun. Again, he provided all the ammo and the firearms. Then we went out for dinner, and then we came back here to Kingston. So what we did here is Tracy dropped off a lot of the pamphlets. So over the last few days, I've been going out a couple of hours. Last night I was out until 8:30, just plastering the homes in the neighborhoods with those pamphlets about learning about the Liberals and who they really are. It's put up with the CCFR, however, it has nothing to do with guns in it. It's just as I said, Kingston is a big Liberal stronghold. It's telling those people that like to vote Liberal what they've done in the past 6 years, which is not very good. We're going to talk about it a little bit in the main topic as well, so stay tuned for that. But I've been really really getting out there and talking to people, as well as our field officers for the CCFR. Got some of them to come out and help with it, and they've been doing it on their own. And there's this one guy, his name is Matt. Anyways, Matt, I want to give a shout out to you because he has been going every day for hours, and I mean hours, and he's literally papering Kingston and covering whole entire neighborhoods by himself. So he's standing up for gun owners in Kingston and also in Canada. So I wanted to give him a big shout out. So the other thing that's happening is I have a double whammy that's happening this weekend. I have both a Ladies' Day, which is on Sunday, but before that I have a Maple Seed on Saturday, and they're both at Lower Trent Valley near here, so in Trenton. So we're going to go and do that. But I've been preparing for that, doing the course of fire and that as well, doing calls with people. And after this, I'm going to let people talk to a few more people about this weekend as well. So other than that, yeah, that's about it. Haven't been doing much. Don't sleep. Other than that, going to work.
You didn't sleep before. Come on.
No, I know. So what's the difference, right?
Yeah.
So, and Patrick is one of our field officers, and he's one of our brand new Maple Seed instructors. He's been helping out with the pamphlets. And Jason Sterling, hey Jason, he's listening and watching as well. He actually has been doing so much in Peterborough. Peterborough is one of those areas where who is the MP that would talk to her brothers, the Taliban? So Tracy hit that area. Richard Lee, he's watching as well. Richard Lee has been almost single-handedly in some areas handing out, and he just is a great supporter of the CCFR. He watches the show. He's come to a Maple Seed. He is in the Cambridge, Burlington / Oshawa / Ajax. He's running all over Ontario as well as he being a huge supporter too. So just I do have to say that there's some really great people here especially in Ontario, that have been taking part in this pamphlet distribution. People are actually online saying, well, why aren't you sending it to us? Ontario.
Yeah, hey, why aren't you sending a bunch to Alberta? How come I'm not doing them in Edmonton West or something like that?
I know, right? Actually,
because I'm a slacker.
Yeah,
because I'm a slacker. I'm just
in that area because it is a swing vote. You know that, right?
No, my area is not a swing vote.
Apparently it is.
Downtown in Millwoods are a potential swing vote.
All right.
My area is not.
Because we know that the Conservatives, or we'll talk about those that shall not be named later. Alberta is pretty safe. The swing votes that we're looking at, or the neighborhoods that we're looking at, is Ontario. Ontario makes or breaks this for us, basically.
The election's called well before they even start counting our votes.
Yes, but does it make you have to get your ass out there to vote as well and vote smart? Still, don't blame us Easterners.
Do I have to?
Yeah, by the way. Yeah. So we will talk about a little bit what we can do about influencing it, because there's literally only 4 more days left to this election. What can you do? So we'll talk about that in the main topic. But it's been teamwork. Jason's saying teamwork. Yeah. Why don't we actually pull this up? So I know it's actually a lot, but I don't. Comments. Let's put that up there. Teamwork is dreamwork. And Jason Sterling, I just want to say thank you very much. You've been doing a ton of work, like a ton. So anyways, and everybody else. Peterborough, what did you say about Peterborough? Show is between
a bellwether riding. The heck does that mean? It's close.
43, 44. It's crazy. What does that mean?
I don't know. Must mean that you got a vote or something there.
I don't know. Anyways, and it was months off. Remember months off? So Tracy picked specific ridings that were swing ridings, Burlington, Kitchener, and then also ridings that, like, for example, Bill Blair's riding, as well as, our ridings, just because those are specific people. Pam Danoff's riding, she was there this evening, just because those are specific ridings that we want to inform the public on.
Strategically win.
Strategically. And it's
the point.
it's not going to make an influence. Like, again, Bill Blair's riding, it's a liberal riding. It's liberal stronghold. but it's pissing him off apparently because he's coming out and he's doing some videos on TikTok. No, Twitter. Imagine Bill Blair on TikTok. Anyways,
yeah, he's completely lost it.
He's lost.
I want to see him do like a twerking video or something like that on TikTok to try to get the vote. I would love that.
Yeah. So he's very upset about it, as well as my Mr. and Pam Danoff, and there's a couple of other ones as well. And they're using Twitter. They're really using Twitter, and if you respond on Twitter, yes, it's a cesspool. But if you use correct grammar, spelling, etc., and it's very logic based as well, and you can again post attach any things like photos or.
Are you trying to say that Twitter is logic based?
No, it's the exact opposite. But when you do, it shuts down the people that are, trying to. Whatever. So, yeah, that's been me. Yeah, I've been Twitter painting for the past.
Twitter painting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, because it means that the rest of us don't. I hate going on Twitter personally, and I will do everything in my power to not use Twitter and use other platforms.
I find it's something that it's bad that I say it. I enjoy it, but I don't enjoy it. I enjoy people who are talking absolute nonsense and then rebutting with a lot. I should be on a debate team. So rebutting with a logical response, which is fact-based, which is provable, as well as, anyways.
Within 140 characters.
Yeah. That's with the challenge.
Citation too.
I love games and puzzles. I can do a puzzle in 150 words or less. Hashtag election 44. So Bill Blair, if I see Bill Blair on TikTok, I'm going to eat, what is this?
Eat a Glock.
Eat a Glock. No, please don't. That will not help our cause. Okay, so that's it. I see that Kyle's here. So Kyle, what have you done in guns this week?
Wasn't guns, it's still archery season, but went out hunting this weekend, and no animals on the ground, but it was pretty awesome trip. So me and buddy, we got a late start Friday night, headed out of town around 8 o'clock, and we're basically at the last turn and saw a nice, say, 48-inch bull moose.
Oh, nice.
But usually they're taller than that, aren't they? Usually they're taller than that, aren't they?
Yeah. Usually, midget, whatever. Pygmy moose? Is that thing?
Have you ever seen a pygmy moose?
No.
I've seen an albino. I've seen babies, but I've never seen a pygmy moose. Yeah. Can I keep them if you find one though? I want to keep them.
I'll try and take a picture. We'll see.
Picture? I want them in my backyard.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Just hold on. I am looking up pygmy moose. Go ahead.
Okay. So we figured that was a good start. Got camp set up, had a beer, actually we didn't even have a fire the first night, but woke up in the morning, Saturday morning, to a bull elk bugling within a mile of us.
Oh.
Yeah. And so he was perfect. Oh, great. We don't need to find the elk. There he is. We sat down, had a cup of coffee, bugled a few times in about half-hour intervals and wasn't moving. So right when we were about getting ready to go and track him down, we heard he bugled again. Okay, that's a little closer. Well, maybe we'll pick up the pace. Like, okay, he's on the move and he's coming to us. And where we were camped, we were on top of just overlooking the river valley, and there was probably about 150-foot drop right in front of us down where the elk were. And I was at my hammock. That's what I was camping in and getting changed. And not 10 minutes after the last bugle, he let out a roar, and you could hear the growl at the beginning of the bugle. And that was it. Oh crap. He was right below us. got our wind and our thermals, and he was gone. Never seen or heard from him since. And so after that, we went down and tried calling, trying to track him down. But yeah, no, he was gone. But we decided to go for a drive up where we had seen the moose the night before and checking the cut blocks and everything. We come driving past one of them, and 80 yards from the truck, nice 5 or 6 point bull elk standing right there. So Buddy stops the truck and right in the middle of the cut, didn't keep driving. And so the elk looked over his shoulder and looked at us for a few seconds. Then he took off. And that was basically it for the camping trip. Didn't see anything else, but it's definitely promising for this weekend. But then Sunday night, when I got home, I actually went out to a buddy's place where I usually go hunting for my moose, and they've been seeing a ton of bull moose out there. Just haven't been able to get at them, like out in fields. And that was actually really cool because we saw what he thought was a small bull. I told him if it's a bull, that's really, really small. But went after him when we had the side-by-side. So he told me, go down this block, this little cut into this next field, and I'm going to drive around and drive the moose to you. Okay, I do that. And then out comes a cow and calf. Now, at this point, I see my buddy across the field, and he starts driving my way because he doesn't know that it's a cow yet. To drive him my way, and they ran directly at me. And I was kind of wondering, like, okay, how's this going to go down? Like, she's just going to run right over me, but she stopped about 7 yards right in front of me, staring at me in the face. And so, no animals on the ground, but some pretty cool experiences hunting this weekend.
Good.
When you were first talking about your calling there, I thought the story was going to go, and then you saw someone else doing calls. That happens so often with elk. Yeah. As you call back to each other and you go, it's like, God damn it, it's another guy in camo.
it's another human.
Yeah, that was the great thing. We didn't see anybody all weekend out where we were hunting, so that was really awesome.
Nice, yeah, somewhere remote enough where that's possible.
Yeah, and planning on heading up to Buddy's place tonight after the show. See if we can find a moose.
Nice.
Moose. Is it moose or
moose and elk? Moose and elk. The meat's so good. Yeah.
Well, after the moose, if I get a moose, pressure's off. We got meat for the year. So,
meat crisis averted.
Exactly.
Meat. Yes. Okay.
That's cool.
I guess we're on to me then. I went to a steel challenge at EOSC on Saturday. It was 3 stages. The first 2 were your pretty standard, steel match kind of stages, and then the third one was a bigger one, and it had some actual paper targets and movement and a couple mag changes. So it was more like an IPSC stage, which made it really fun. It went pretty well. I enjoyed it, and I also signed up for. So this Saturday I have a match in Cornwall, and then the next weekend will be the Ontario Provincials, and then I also signed up for a match I'm shooting on the Sunday, and I signed up for a match on the Friday because I'm going to be visiting family that weekend. I did some reloading this week to get the ammo ready for all those matches. I did lots of dry firing to obviously also to get ready, and really, that's it for me. We can get into the upcoming events. Upcoming events sponsored by TLS Alpha. TLS Alpha is a Canadian digital agency that works exclusively in the firearms vertical. They help with business processes, strategic planning, websites, e-commerce, and battling the stigma the industry carries with banks, merchant processors, and social media. Learn more at tlsalpha.com. I guess I can talk about the upcoming Maple Seats with tickets available. There's Winnipeg. And
nope. We didn't change it. Sorry, guys. Winnipeg's done.
Winnipeg's done. Stittsville's coming up.
So and then done.
Well, you have access to the show notes. You can delete
you know what?
Delete them real quick.
I'm busy doing the banners.
Okay, so coming up, we've got Lloydminster and Drumheller. They're going to be opening soon, and those will be in October. It might be cold. Parka.
You know what?
Parka.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know what? Ontario is supposed to be like 25 until mid-October.
Oh.
Gotta love that global warming.
Yeah, I'm good with that. So this weekend is going to be 23 degrees and partially sunny, partially cloudy. So it'll be perfect day. Yeah, all of the ones in Ontario, they're all sold out. We do have one that's currently being populated by Arrange, and I'm not sure if it will sell out or not in there. If it doesn't, I'll release it probably in the next week.
There's a Medicine Hat event this weekend, and I bet it's not sold out yet.
Should be sold out.
If you're in Medicine Hat.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay, Alberta people, what the heck? It's Medicine Alberta.
Medicine Hatters?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or Southern Saskatchewaners?
Southern Saskatchewaners? Yeah.
That's not easy to
Saskatchewan. It's pretty close.
It's close. It is close. Just go to it.
Just go to it.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have some new restrictions in Alberta, but they do not impact Maple Seed or any of our shooting events, really, because, there's some restrictions, but then they're like, outdoor events, there's no restrictions. So it's like, good to go. Right. 3-gun, Maple Seed, all still good to go.
Coolio.
And then we have the Quesnel 2-gun competition and night shoot on November 6th and 7th.
You can have a Quizno before you go to Quesnel, but it's Quesnel.
Quinell. I should look this up.
A night shoot. Yeah.
Quinell.
Mm-hmm. I want to go to a night shoot. November 6th. Awesome. Do you think it'll be cold? It's kind of in the
it's Alberta, of course. It's
no, it's in BC. It's in BC.
Oh, it's like kind of they're mountains. It's very possible to be cold,
but that's okay. Just like crank a light on your rifle or your pistol and go and do a night shoot. I like the idea.
Most of the places here we can't do night shoots, although I can do it at my trap club.
Well, if I showed you where Quesnel was, you'd be like, "Oh, that's why they can do night shoots."
Because there's nobody there.
It's remote.
Remote.
Remote, maybe not is the wrong word. It's in the middle of effing nowhere.
That's remote.
It's not populated. I think you would need to drive maybe 15 or 20 hours to get to like a quote unquote like real city. So it's
How far to the closest Walmart?
Ooh, well, Walmarts are everywhere, so I don't know if you can.
I wouldn't be surprised if Quesnel has their own Walmart.
Maybe.
Okay, we've dedicated enough time to Quesnel. Let's move on.
2-gun night shoot. I approve.
Any ladies' days you want to mention?
Okay. No. Just that the one that's coming up is Lower Trent Valley. It's going to be this weekend. We don't have any more that are confirmed. We have a couple that we're just talking about. Might be happening in October and one in the end of September, but it's really close to that one. I don't know. Anyways, but if you want a Ladies' Day shoot, we have some that are being planned already for next year. Just send me an email at kellywheaton at firearmrights.ca, or you can send it here to the show and I'll chat with you here. So, yeah.
Oh, can I add an event in? They're going to do a CRPS at Chaz, not this weekend, but the one after.
That's a good idea. You're going to do Maple Seed too, since you're both there?
Maybe. I haven't thought about. I haven't been thinking about anything. I've just been like chugging along, doing my thing.
I know you've been busy with
Maybe I should.
house.
Maybe I should. We should like just put a little Friday Maple Seed on there. Saturday CRPS, something like that, right?
Sounds good.
Go shoot. Derby.
Kyle, do you want to mention the 3-gun event?
Sure. Mention again the Night Peace 3-gun team 3-gun match in Peace River. It's coming up a couple weeks away on October 2nd and 3rd. 2-person teams, $160 a team. There are actually, I think I saw there were 17 teams now registered.
Cool.
And
nice.
If you want to register, contact Steve-O on the on the Mighty Peace 3 Gun Facebook page. And he's added that the deadline to register is September 26th. If you are a late registry, there is a customary bottle of rum tax added to for late registry. So.
That seems fair.
I think that is extremely fair. I think absolutely. I will do that for all my shoots from now on. It is a really smart deal. Just saying. Oh, speaking of customary tax, I know it's not shout out, but Doug Johnson, thank you.
That's interesting.
It's the Jameson Stout edition. This is his third bottle that he's that he has bought for me because he drank the other two, and then he saw me on the weekend and gave it to me. Yeah, so I'm drinking the regular Jamesons, and then after I will bring out the good stuff because I don't want to drink a lot of the good stuff. I just drink more of the not so good stuff. Well, Jamesons, and then I'll drink the stout once I'm really. Yeah.
From the sounds of it, you need to drink the stout before he comes over and finishes it on you.
No, well, I'm pretty safe because he lives in Cambridge, which is 6 hours away. Adriel, it's a 6-hour drive. I did that last weekend 3 times.
Good for you. That's something I'm keen to do. What you need is sacrificial booze. You need like the cheap booze. So bring out the nice stuff, serve a glass of that. But then the cheap booze comes out. If someone wants to get tanked, don't get tanked on the nice stuff. You drink the store brand liquor.
Swill.
Yeah, you start out with the good stuff, and then
you drink one of the good stuff, and you start out with that, and then the not so good stuff. It makes it more palatable. Yeah. Speaking of palatable, have you guys talked about the PPCs yet? No, we haven't. Okay. No.
I don't know. I was late.
No, we're almost there. We're almost there.
We're chugging along. We have nothing new in the news section unless anybody has a news story they want to talk about. No? Yes?
Actually, I did have one I wanted to throw in there, but I don't even have the article in there. But
so just on the fly, what it was?
Regale us.
Yes.
It was in Wetaskiwin.
Okay.
A gentleman was walking on the side of the highway with what was perceived to be a pellet gun, and they bumped him twice with the truck.
Okay, no, it wasn't perceived to be a pellet gun. It was perceived to be an actual real gun.
Sorry, I misspoke. It afterwards, what is believed by the general public was a pellet gun because I don't think they even released what it was that he was carrying. But yeah, they thought it was a firearm.
It was a replica, they say.
And so I kind of wanted to strike up a conversation on it, see what you guys thought, because I saw a bunch of comments and about abuse of power and whatever on the RCMP side, and I know I have my opinions, but I wanted to hear what your guys' opinions were.
Let's give a little backstory for this, because I did read the article. He was at a store with a friend, and they were buying these pellet guns, and his friend took off. Nice friend, by the way. And he's walking down a highway with a quote-unquote replica firearm strapped to his back. And so he basically, one, was walking down a highway, and two, somebody called and said, dude, there's this guy walking down the highway with a gun.
With a gun, yeah.
So they responded, and why would they bump him? Well, the guy didn't stop. If he had stopped and said, hey, it's a pellet gun, I got it at the store, my friend ditched me, asshole. So like
yeah.
Right?
I agree. They were shouting at him, put down the firearm, and all he had to do was put it down, step back, and
I watched the video. They bumped him, and I don't mean bumped him. They actually rode over him.
They ran him. Oh, really? No, let's get it up here.
Yeah,
let's see the footage.
They ran over
so
him.
he's walking away, and they're like, "Hey, pull over or something." He's like, "No." He's like, "Okay, well, I'll just give you a little bump." And he's like, "Hey, that was uncalled for, mister. Please don't do that again." And they proceed to do it again.
Oh, that was a good one too. Wow, that's a knockdown.
Yes, under the bumper.
Down.
So
man down, man.
Yeah, I can understand. He has absolutely every right to do it. It was legal to do it. Was it smart? No. Was it smart for him to actually just not stop and say, "Dude, like I will put it down"? You know.
Come take a look. It's a pellet gun, right?
It's a pellet gun, and the cop was saying, "Oh, my bad," right? It's not smart to be walking down the highway with a pellet gun, but let's throw it in the back of the car and I'll take you to your place or whatever. He's walking and he doesn't actually.
It's even less smart to just completely ignore the RCMP when there's a ton of them there, guns drawn on you, telling you to put down the firearm.
Yes. They look a little nervous,
right?
Yeah.
And it's 100% his right to do that, but
it's also his right to get hit by the police truck.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Right?
That is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Do I feel badly for him? A little bit. Do I really feel bad for him? Not really.
Completely preventable.
Yeah, the
cops try to de-escalate when they can, but if you've got a guy with a gun and he's being unresponsive and doing weird stuff, then
yeah, there's some common sense stuff you just shouldn't do. Like if you're in the US, you're not going to walk into a store with a plastic gun and pull it out and wave it around just as a joke, because there's a chance that something's going to happen.
I think that happened recently,
especially in concealed carry places.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You can't joke around with stuff like that. Like Canada, you probably could get away with it, but
maybe. Or you can't. You'll come see me.
Yeah.
Try it, Mel.
Well, I'm not going to try it like that. No.
You won't like it very much, but
I'm not looking for any stupid prizes. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So any other news?
Well, we're going to cover the main topic, but
and gun stuff.
We can get into new gun stuff, sponsored by Bolt Action Coffee. Slamfire is a brand ambassador for Bolt Action Coffee. The coffee is roasted in small batches and is quite honestly some of the best coffee you can get your hands on. Send it to your house by going to www.boltactioncoffee.com. Discount code SLAMFIRE. And our first item is
these new metal mags. Yeah, these metal mags for the Glock, which they're sold by Glock Store, and Glock Store has this guy, Lenny McGill. I love him. He's like 100% intensity all the time on his videos, which I just love so much. And they got some metal Glock mags.
Oh, that guy.
So,
yeah.
Any issues at all with the feeding or anything like that?
I don't know. I mean, they're not plastic mags, so I guess that's different. But
they
look really cool. Yeah, you could tune them. Yeah.
Much easier.
I
like the idea.
This guy.
Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to bring those up because I thought they look neat. I try to bring up stuff that I think is neat or stuff that I might consider buying if I didn't have like a million Glock mags.
Yeah, Lenny's awesome apparently. And
Lenny's awesome. Watch some Lenny videos on Glock Store stuff. He's hilarious, and he's just like 100% energy. I love his stuff.
I've been watching a lot of Grantham lately. I don't know why.
Grantham?
Yeah.
You know why. He's easy on the eyes, and he wears some tight shirts, Kelly.
Yeah, he does, actually.
Final Daddy.
I never noticed.
Do you even care which video he's watching, or what he's doing, or what he's reviewing? Probably not.
I really do.
Uh-huh.
I watched his review on EarPro. Really good one. Go and watch it.
I'm going to make a video that's 10 times better than his video on EarPro, just by the by.
Yeah. Oh,
he's talking about like columns.
Well, you need to wear a tight shirt.
Yeah, Adriel, you gotta add some tight shirts with your.
Yeah.
No, it was
and
really
everything sticking out the top.
It was really good. He was reviewing Tactical EarPro. It was a good one, and then I just actually binge watched him, so it was just good. I watch him every once in a while, but that was a good one. I was looking at various mix of EarPro and what he thought about him. So, yeah, William, Grantham is awesome.
And easy on the eyes.
What's the he is. So what's the chocolate place in Kingston that you've mentioned before? It's Cacao 70 or 72. Cacao 72.
Cacao 72.
Yeah. Chocolate all the time.
Chocolate.
Here's something that's new.
Yeah.
Tactical Imports is bringing in a new type of Type 81. It's not the LMG version, it's the regular version. Yeah. It's got like a deeper red wood on it, and it's got, I think it's a phosphate finish for the metal. Phosphate,
it's
did I
nice
find that?
Looking.
Yes, phosphate. Yeah, like a mil spec, like a phosphate finish. So it'll be like a
if you like
crunchier, rougher. Yeah. So if you'd like to Type 81s and you were tired of looking at the $1,500 or $2,000 scalped LMG versions, you can get it for $1,200 right from the source.
And they got the regular stock, the folders, and then they have a scope mount too, I believe.
Yeah. I heard that's how they just do scope mounts on AKs. They just replace the pins and they pop in a side guy like that. That's a super common thing to do. Interesting. I just wish there were 10-round mags for it, but after the Liberals win, they'll take away all of our 5+ mags anyways. So I don't know if it's worth it.
Okay. Does anybody else need a drink?
It's too late to kick them out of the show.
Yeah, we can end it. There you go.
Okay.
Hold on a second. I'm going to end them. There
you could remove me. Yeah. You guys are all admins. You could remove me.
Remove from stream. There you go.
Oh, no, you really did it? Oh.
He'll be back.
Is he put
I can't have myself back. There we go.
He was put into a timeout, wasn't he?
Yeah. It's like hanging up on Trevor. It feels so good when you do that. Okay, now you
now.
Right. Hey, Joel, you ready to continue?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good.
I'll behave for now.
Perfect timing because we're going to get into our main topic. Obviously, the federal election is only 4 days away, and only 4 days away. So we were going to talk about what we can do to make sure we get the result we want. Obviously, who wants to start?
I guess vote.
There's some things that we can do that are very illegal, but and we don't recommend them. And then there's other things.
And we don't discuss them or advocate for them on the show.
Oh, absolutely not. 100%. We will not. We do not advocate or endorse anything that's illegal here on the show.
Okay.
Anyways, read between the lines. Okay. Let's talk about what we can do here as gun owners. Anybody
vote?
Vote?
Well, vote number one, yes.
Okay. So let's
encourage your friends and family to vote, maybe?
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's talk about voting. So I've been pretty vocal with you guys. You're my friends, you're my family, about some of the things that I'm pretty passionate about a lot of things, obviously. I also know that if the Liberals get back into if they win even a minority, we're actually, as gun owners, we're screwed. So, and that means that think about your choices that you make. I'm not advocating for one party over the other, but I do know it's a two-party race. And if you vote split or you ruin your ballot, especially in ridings where it's very close, that's going to actually impact not only us as firearms owners, but also everything. So, for example, it's not a gun show, but it is a show about, it is a gun show, but it also, the other things that it's going to impact are basically our debt, as well as taxes, and basically we're all going to be the working poor. So, I've been actively involved in doing everything that I can to influence the vote, even in a Liberal stronghold. And I know that some of the listeners that are currently listening or will be listening later, they've been working their ass off and basically trying to make a difference. That's one of the things that I find with Canadians. We have with the PPC that have come in. We are going there, I guess. With the PPC that has come in, we're now seeing two different parties that gun owners will be supporting. I actually think that some of the PPC policies are great, but the reality is it's going to be
platforms. Their platforms like more ideologically pure than the conservative one is.
Correct.
Their platform is better, but that's because they aren't going to be in power. It's just like how the NDP can promise like all sorts of kind of things that they never have to deliver on. If they ever were in power, my God, they'd have to roll back on
So some of the discussions that I've had with people are, again, Maxime Bernier. He's a very smart guy. He is a lawyer and he's been in politics since I think it was 2006. Don't quote me, or maybe 2013. No, it's 2006. Anyways, so he's a very, very, very smart man. He knows what's going on. I do know who he talked to about developing his firearms platform as well. And the reality is he can promise anybody unicorns and puppy dogs, as well as lattes on Fridays as a holiday. But he also knows that he has very limited chance of even winning his own seat. So if he can't win his own seat, or he can't get over 5% of the vote. Right now, they're trending at 6% nationally. That's the other thing, too. A lot of people don't understand this, and they don't understand popular vote versus the seats. Popular vote is right now, up until a couple of days ago, the Conservatives were winning in the polls for popular vote. That doesn't actually win elections.
No, it happened the last time.
Seats win elections. So that's why the CCFR is concentrating on the GTA right now with the swing votes, the ridings, because those are the seats that are really, really important. And it sucks. And yeah, I know you guys out in Alberta, you're right. The election is decided before we ever get out there, because there's so many seats here in Ontario and Manitoba, in Quebec. Yeah. So that's the reality. I'm sorry, but that's why all the efforts are being concentrated here in Ontario. But what you got, it has to be. That's the other thing. Like when the writ was dropped, we knew it was coming. It was 2 weeks later than we thought it would be. So what that means is, from third-party advertising, the way that it works is anybody other than the registered parties is able to apply for third-party advertising, but you're not able to do anything. And also the candidates aren't able to do anything until the writ is dropped, or the election is announced. So it's 38-day election. Like, that's the shortest election period in our entire history. Like, compared to the US that goes through it for essentially 9 months, 38 days, right? So that means that we have a lot of work to do in just a short period of time. And in 4 days, and that's until the election on the 20th. By the way, a lot of people have already pre-voted. I know this, but we can still actually influence a lot of voters right now. And part of that is talking to your friends. And convincing them, or and don't call them names and different things like that, but just
libtard, I think, is the correct term, right?
That's correct.
It's one of them, yeah.
I've been taking the approach of what the CFR did with their pamphlet. When I talk to people, I'm not, it's not about I need to save my guns. It's about pointing out what's wrong with the Liberals and what's wrong with the NDP and those parties. Not about, please vote for the CPC because I need you to save my guns. Because why would they care? They're my friends, but why would they care?
So this pamphlet was designed, and it was designed in a very short period of time, again, because there's only a certain period of time when we had to ensure that we had third-party status. A lot of the anti-gun groups, by the way, they didn't get third-party status this time, where they did in 2019, like Police Vivant or Doctors for Gun Control. This year they don't, or this time they don't.
I wonder if they just didn't apply, or they just didn't think they would spend a lot of money.
Guess what? It hasn't stopped them. They'll deal with it after the election, is what they're saying. So for us, this time we did apply for it, being the CCFR. I'm not speaking for the CCFR, by the way. I'm not a spokesperson for them, but I'm just saying the CCFR did apply for it. So did some of the other advocacy groups as well. But it means that we're allowed to put out those pamphlets. Those pamphlets have nothing, and I repeat, nothing to do with firearms. The only thing on the back is it says that this has been sponsored by the Canadian Coalition for Firearms Rights. It is a strategic pamphlet. And the reason that it's strategic is the front of it. It's not aimed at people who are already going to vote Conservative or NDP or anybody else. It's aimed at people who are specifically Liberals, because on the front of it, it's a very nice little picture of Justin Trudeau. And then you go on the inside, and everything that's on the inside is based on policies or anything that's happened over this past 6 years, specifically with the economy, the pandemic, vaccines, and that as well. So remember when I said going on Twitter where it's accessible? Part of that is the stuff that you can bring up too, because you can go back to where it's linked as well. So, but a lot of people are saying, well, send it out to Saskatchewan or send it out to Alberta, send us out these pamphlets. Well, the reality is we only have a short period of time. We only have a very few staff, And basically, if you'd like to, there's electronic versions of it. There's PDFs, and go do it in your area. And that's basically what I've been doing. I spend 2 to 3 hours a night and just go out with some friends of mine, some people who are shooters as well, field officers, and we just go out and we do talk to people. So the reality. So I was handing them out, and we put them in mailboxes. We don't put them in Canada Post mailboxes. By the way, that's illegal to do. Didn't know if you knew that. But we put them in the mailboxes that are on people's houses, where they put flyers and different things. So we'll stuff them in there, and we'll just go from door to door. And if somebody is home, we'll just hand it to them. And I've been saying, "Have you voted yet?" And some people say, "Yes." Okay, well, that's great. I just want to give you a pamphlet anyways, tell you about, because again, Kingston's a liberal stronghold. But I also give it to other people too. I was physically chased down last night by a lady. And she said, "I've already voted." And I said, "Okay, that's great." And she went to her neighbors and she gave me back the pamphlets. And I'm going, okay. But she didn't actually take the time to look at the pamphlets. And she was quite abrupt with me. And I turned around and I said, "Okay, well, thank you." And she's given them back to me. And I said, "Well, I'll give them to the next people." And then she walked back in her house, which had a conservative banner out front of it. And the reason that she was quite upset is because I gave her something that was supporting the Liberals, apparently. So,
Never looks like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then I walked for another half an hour or so, and I gave another lady, she was coming out of her house, and I gave her the pamphlet. And she said, "I have to talk to you." And I said, "Okay, like, why would you have to talk to me?" And she says, "I don't really like this party." And I'm going, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "Well, I'm not a Liberal supporter. I don't really support your guy here in Kingston." I said, "Well, that's good, because I don't either."
We're on the same page then.
We're on the same page. I said, "We're giving out these pamphlets." But she goes, "It's got Trudeau on the front cover and it's a nice cover." I said, "Well, that's exactly it." I said, "If you're not if you're not voting for Justin Trudeau," I said, "but there are people who are, and we want them to actually look at the pamphlet and engage it and look through it. Everything in there is verifiable as well. It's linked back to the Liberals. So whether it's in their policy or something that Justin Trudeau said, we can link it back to specific dates where he said it, whether it's at a news conference or anything like that as well." So let's bring up what Jason said here. You want to read it there, Adriel?
Yeah, I just had that experience. I told the guy, "Just read the first page." He came back and asked for a bundle.
Yeah.
Good.
So what we're finding is it's been a slow roll or boiling. It's been a slow boil, and now it's actually at the point where it's a fast boil with these pamphlets. People, and as I said, it's been a small group of people that have been handing them out, and then it's gotten to just Joe Friday, or give me a name. Anyways,
Sally Saturday.
Yeah, Sally Saturday.
Sally Saturday.
Sally Saturday, going into all these various places and picking up. You can pick up 5, you can pick up 10, you can pick up a box. A box is 550, and just paper. And this is until we have 4 days left. There is a whole bunch of different locations. There is the gun dealer in Macadam who has it, and that's in New Brunswick, because quite frankly, Fredericton is a riding. It was a Green Party riding last election, but it's up for grabs right now. So it's interesting. And there is some at our favorite store in Montreal. It just got shipped out today. So is it free CFRAM? I keep pronouncing it wrong. Craffam. That's right. And there's a whole bunch here in Ontario. There is one in Vancouver as well that you can get. I'm going to pull them up here. Just hold on a second. I'll give you the list of places that you can go. I should have done this before. What types of other things do you guys think that you can do besides argue with people on Gun Nuts or on? I haven't even gone
Reddit.
I haven't even gone to Gun Nuts. Facebook.
I stayed away too. Yeah. I stayed away.
I can't imagine you'd only be arguing with people on Gun Nuts about PBC or CBC. On Reddit, you can argue with a more broad variety of people. On Twitter, I guess you could argue with people, but you're not going to change any minds. You might be able to change minds of your friends and family. So if you talk to people and ask them about that stuff,
Okay,
that's
so is it more important? It is important to change your people's minds that are not conservative slash a PBC. But it's also important to talk facts with people. And
I wouldn't just talk about gun facts, so I'd talk about other stuff.
No.
Our prime minister went to bat for a corrupt company and demoted someone when they wouldn't toe the line and let this corrupt company off. That should have really been the end of all of this. So one shouldn't have gone past there.
So one of the things that I talked to, by the way, the lady that said, I don't really like your guy here. I didn't talk to her about guns at all. I was frank with her. I said, I'm representing the Canadian Coalition for Firearms Rights. I said, this has nothing to do with guns. This is actually telling you what this the Liberals have been doing for 6 years. And she read through it. She was a former CAF, Canadian Armed Forces member. And she said, thank you so much. She said, because she said, I was the first woman that filed a suit. And that was back in 1995, and it's still happening. So she said, thank you very much for mentioning that, because it's not just about firearms, it's about everything. And especially like Indian in the Cover that's come out, the English debate, a lot of women really need to know about this. And
cabinet.
Did I say covered? That's a movie. Indian in the Cover is a movie, but it's Indian in the Cabinet.
Very close. Yeah.
But there's some really significant things in there. I don't know why or how somebody can go through and do all of those things. And when people talk about ethics or anything, again, Twitter pating, people are talking about ethics. They're going, well, you're a guy. And I'm going, the conservative candidate, he's a military man that went and fought for his country and is married and and your guy is somebody who has 3 ethic violations while he's been in prime minister.
And like talk about the ethics violations, because like some of them are serious, some of them are like he was giving his buddy organization a pile of cash. He was trying to I'd imagine most politicians do that. Usually it doesn't go to the top. Usually you don't catch like the boss doing that, but they caught the boss doing that. SNC Lavalin, pretty bad. That one is for the boss to get involved with trying to back up a corrupt company. Boy, that's shocking.
Yeah. So the big
face. For me, maybe if he was like 14 or something like that, but he was like 29 in his 30s, like, oh boy, like we knew better back then. We knew better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Richard Lee is saying, if anyone in Mississauga, Brampton, Burlington, Oakville, see skiing around, or Hamilton needs them and can't get them at the select shooting supplies, again, Dean, in Cambridge, they can PM him or PM him on the CCFR page, and he'll do another pickup or a run for them. He's been doing this for people all over the place, so I just wanted to say thank you to him. Oh, awesome. Crap. I think I just shut down my computer.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
We'll find out if that goes through.
Ellie will be gone in 3, 2.
The updates came through. Anyways, if I do, I'll try and come back at some point. And Tracy's around too. He says, here's the list of places you can go to, and then we'll talk a little bit more. So Action Sports in Ottawa, that hunting store in Richmond, SFRC. By the way, I'm getting all my stuff from them. I've gotten 5 boxes so far, 6 boxes, as well as some of the other field officers. Or if you want, some message me as well. Greater Napanee Gunworks. It was good to see that a lot of people are starting to pick up from there. Accuracy Plus in Peterborough. That's where Jason, who's watching, is. Firearms Outlet in Ajax. Target Sports in Gormley. Select Shooting Supplies, obviously we just talked about that in Cambridge. Victory Ridge Sports in Barrie. Get On Sports in Oshawa. Bullseye North. Thank you, Rick, and everybody over there. NAS Guns and Ammo in Font Hill. You can go and talk to Dave, by the way. He has a great English accent. Tenda Canada, who is Adriel's favorite store ever. Reliable Guns in Vancouver. International Shooting Supplies in Surrey. The Gun Dealer in Macadam, and also Crapham in Montreal. So that's places where you can go get them. The biggest thing that we don't want to see is them going into the recycling box after this. So go get some.
Got to use them.
Gotta use them. That's what they're there for. The other thing that
you reminded me that you said Tenda there. I actually had my buddy buy a CF98 so I can review it and then buy it back to him from him after I move.
Oh, cool. So, yeah. Do we want to talk about straw purchases or no? We do not endorse anything that's illegal. Okay.
No.
He has a license. I have a license.
Yeah.
He's technically buying it.
Everybody's
You're
licensed.
moving.
Yeah. I'm moving.
It's all legit.
But it was a good deal. And you know how I am with those.
Okay.
I don't even need it or want it. But it was a good deal.
So you have to do it. By the way, what's going on with the Wrangler?
Well, it's transferred and it's not in my house anymore. And I had a video for it. And then I checked the video. I started, I had my editor, my junior editor, go through it. And he's like, there's no audio in this.
Ah, crap.
Yeah. So I'll have to reshoot it. Suffice to say, they're fantastic. Buy one.
Okay. No, I'm buying yours. See, that's how we're doing this. Okay.
All right.
So what else can we do? It's 4 days. Hand out those pamphlets and go to those places and contact Richard Lee or myself or any of the field officers for the CCFR.
Protest around hospitals with the sign. Please don't vote for the libtards. That's a good tactic, isn't it?
No, that's actually a very bad tactic, especially the people that were promoting the PPC candidate in Burlington to go and use the Type 81 at the protest.
They're courting like all the wrong actors. I really do like the PPC platform, but I looked at my local rep who wouldn't win, like we're CPC safe here. I looked at his stuff and it was all about vaccine passports and that kind of thing, which I'm against as well. But it isn't the most important thing. The most important thing for us right now should be like affordability, housing affordability, jobs,
cost of living.
Yeah. There's things that are like so much more important than all this other stuff that people are like really hyper focused on. And I feel like when I look at the PPC's like rise in their, especially recently here, I think that's all it is. Just people who are just going to that because it's the only party that'll support them on this one single policy. Yeah,
and single policy voters is basically what it is. But they also have to recognize that they have to get somebody into. The only way that the PPC can influence anything in Parliament is one, get a majority. Never going to happen. Or minority.
Get seats, and they can't get seats because
I'm getting there. Or get a minority. Never.
I spilled the beans too early.
Or get some seats, and there's still a prediction that there's going to be 0 seats, maybe 1. That might be Maxime. I'm not sure. He didn't win in his riding last time, and I mean he got thrashed. So if there might be, it'd be weird to have a leader of parliament has not won his seat, but is representing a party because they have 1 seat. Okay, so seriously, people that are listening to this that are supporting the PPC, what the fuck are you going to do with 1 seat? What are you going to influence? Nothing. 0.
Well, the important thing to think about is if the Liberals get a minority, if they get a minority or a majority, it's likely going to be the end of handgun ownership for most Canadians because the most populous provinces will opt into the $1 billion plus bribery money that the feds are going to give them to enact handgun bans across the province. And for the rest of us, that means all those people who were protecting our votes and being able to support us, they're gone.
Right. But that's the problem. The reality is that a lot of people that support the PPC are people that they're the rural voters, Alberta, that I know
they're not going to win a single seat out here. They'll get some support because again, they have a very ideologically pure platform. Yeah, so it's easy for people to identify with that. But Yeah, it's not practical for stopping the liberals.
I 100% agree. People are tired of the pandemic, the restrictions, and everything that are in place. They want to get back to their life, and they're fed up and they're tired, and they want their freedoms. But freedoms are going to the reality. That's the reality. They are not. People need to know how the election runs. They don't understand, and right now they're fucking us over.
I think they're betting on a horse that can't win. So
yeah, they're betting on the wrong horse, or you just have to consider what'll happen if the Liberals get a majority. So if they get a majority, we're really, really super screwed. If they get a minority, we're still kind of screwed. It's just going to take them a little bit longer.
So Igor wants to know what the progressive conservatives did for owners with all the seats they won. Nothing. They got
rid of the long gun registry. That was cool.
Yeah.
And then, largely, if all they do is get rid of a couple things and then they just sit and do nothing, I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
If they're the best chance at winning and that's they do, and that my alternatives are they ban a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I'll take the do nothing.
Okay, before we get there, I do want to talk about instead of he did say that about the OIC, but anyways, let's focus on the reclassification system because that's huge. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. But let's go back. So common sense gun. So the ATTs, we don't have to carry those stupid goddamn things anymore and apply for them. And that's what
now I still got to carry paper around now.
Well, no, but it was attached to our license as well.
It was. Mm-hmm. It was glorious.
Right? It was so glorious. It brought us back into not just handguns. If I'm supporting the progressive conservatives, this is because where I worked, they reduced staffing. I didn't get a raise for however long previously with Harper. But I know how important this is, and I also know what it means to us as well. So what does it mean? I'm biting the bullet, and I already voted. So let's go back to the reclassification system because I know, Adriel, you're a huge fan of that. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, it ends most of the shenanigans that that we've been subject to over the last little while. Like the ATTs are a pain in the butt. I don't really care if I have to call in and get an ATT for some place just because I'm used to it now. But it is a pain in the butt. Mm-hmm. The reclassification is crappy. And the reclassification is something that has been bounced back and forth a couple of times. And I think the conservatives have tried a couple of different things. Yeah. And they haven't worked really for that great. And now they've got a solution that is the best. The reclassification system is the best solution for who should reclassify guns. Should it be the RCMP? Should it be politicians? It was the RC.
Obviously the politicians know all about guns. They know nothing.
Should it be on how they look, if they're scary or not so scary looking? Is that a good way to
There's no criteria in the past. There's no criteria, right? So the RCMP was banning stuff based on well, I drank too much last night. And now this morning, I think it looks like an AR. So it's a variant.
Right. It's got to be one. Right?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Like they have provincial CFOs or they have CFOs. It'd be interesting if they had people that were firearms experts. And I'm not saying the RCMP. They shouldn't have people who enforce the laws, or they shouldn't have people that make the laws. They should have experts. Those people that know specifically about different things. And I think that that's part of the review as well.
I'd rather just have a simplified classification that had 3 simple rules that they followed, and then they just did that.
By the way, Aaron O'Toole, I'll say it right now. Aaron O'Toole, this is a gun show, by the way. Okay. It's not any other type of show. But Aaron O'Toole has promised that he will look at reviewing the classification system. He knows he already knows what his core demographic is. He's not going to fuck us over, because if he does, he knows that he and the progressive conservatives are done. So the next election, he will not have a party whatsoever. So he's already been held accountable, or he will be held accountable. And I will let you know that the people that are in the executive positions of various advocacy groups will hold his feet to the fire to make sure that he keeps his promises on that as well. He already knows that he will be held accountable for it. He's had to tweak his wording, and one of the reasons that he's had to tweak his wording is because like it shouldn't be an issue.
We don't need to cover his stuff on the assault weapon and that kind of thing.
No, we don't.
Moral of the story is like, how do we prevent the sport from collapsing? You got to vote for the Conservatives. It's the only option right now.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about a little bit from the strategic voting. Let's say that there is Liberal or there's an NDP candidate and the Conservative is like in the toilet.
Yeah, vote for the NDP, I guess. I mean, the trouble is, like, if the Liberals get in with a minority, the NDP will support them on any gun measures. So if we're in a spot where the Liberals are in a minority, but the NDPs are still there, and the Liberals put forward, we're going to ban all handguns, they will get support from the other parties on it.
We already know that the NDP will get certain seats, and we already know that the Green Party will get certain seats, although one or two.
Not many.
Not many. BPC will get. They might get one. It'd be good for them. They might be represented in Parliament. That would be a good thing. And we have 4 years, quite frankly, maybe 2, because I do know that that Trudeau has said that if he doesn't win a majority, which he's not, we already know that. If he doesn't win a majority, he's going to go in for another 2 years.
2 years and do it again.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've been doing with friends and family, and I have a lot of people that are Liberals. I have friends from broad spectrum, right? So one of the things that I do say is like, okay, why are we calling an election? It's only 2 years
because he wanted power. That he wanted his majority,
right? So it's only 2 years in. We're in the middle of. We are legit in the middle of a pandemic. It's supposed to be the 4th wave. And he's sending everybody to the polls. Why are we doing this? It's the most costly election in history as well. So why is this happening? Like,
because the other premiers that did this all got majorities. They all benefited from it.
I know. So it's
except for that Nova Scotia one, but they had already called the election by then.
No. But okay, so the reality is there's different ways to vote this time. So one of the ways to vote is mail in. One of the ways to vote is the pre-election
pre-polling, advanced polling.
Okay,
advanced polling.
Way too
advanced
much.
Polling is the word there.
Advanced polling.
I did that. It was all right. It was actually busier in the advanced poll than it was like normally when I just go vote normally.
Yeah, so
there's a huge lineup.
Okay, so do you think it's worth the effort to go and continue doing the canvassing with the pamphlets?
Yeah, because although whatever they had, like 5 million people would go to advance or something like that, typically we get half turnout. That's 15 million people. So there's still 2/3 of voters that are still yet to vote.
An important chunk of voters still,
Yeah,
you're going to have a lot of leaners. They don't know where they're going yet. Still out there. I think the advanced polls, they definitely knew who they were voting for and just wanted to get it out of the way, I think.
Yeah.
Some of the reasons that, particularly for Ontario, I was finding that people were going to the advanced polls is because we were thinking with the 4th wave and spike, they might shut us down. So that being besides the point, talk to your friends, talk to your family, tell them, don't talk about guns, because if we're talking about guns, we're making it about guns. They have nothing. They don't care about guns. Well, they do, but they don't talk about the other talking points. Yeah. The other talking points are what it's all about. And that's how we're going to sway people from voting Liberal. It's not about guns. People don't like them that aren't part of our community. That's a reality. And Richard says, yes, it's worth it. And William Saunders says, hell yeah, Kelly Lynn. It is worth it. Get out there and do it. Just keep doing it until that's all that we can do. Here's a question. Does the threat of COVID potentially prevent Liberal voters going to the polls for fear, where more Conservative voters are open to the risk? No.
I saw something today that would be the opposite. I saw that if you were recently diagnosed with COVID, you cannot go to the polls. And
they can't prevent you.
Gut feel. They can't prevent you. Gut feel. Like they'll probably do the 2-meter thing.
Yeah.
But I did see that in the news, and that would prevent some Conservatives from going to the polls.
I have my doors open. It's freaking hot here. It's 27 degrees, so I have my doors open, but moths are coming in.
It's September.
Yeah, welcome to global warming. Yay.
Global warning.
Global warming.
It's 13 here.
Yeah, that's why I'm not living where it hurts to breathe. Okay. No. Yeah, people are getting out and they're getting out so if you're going to the polls, they are doing the 2 meter spacing and they want you to do the whole sanitizing and shit like that. Great. The fact that they're using one-use
single-use pencils? Yeah. We're going to have landfills full of these little pencils.
Yeah. The pencils you use for golfing. I kind of wanted was it bad that when I was voting, I was kind of going, I really want to fuck with this. But that was bad.
10 million pencils in the landfill. Yeah. Some people will probably leave in their car. So I'm like, I use my trigger trainer.
I just picture a bunch of beavers gathered at the landfill trying to get these little pencils.
So here is this. You need to use what they're using for the votes. And the reason is because if you're voting, I don't want any spoiled votes.
No, they just told me it was fine. They told me my trigger trainer was fine. Yeah. Alberta doesn't care.
Mo, and took my own pen. All right. I was thinking about it, but I used what they had there that was available because I didn't want to spoil the vote.
Neat.
Anyways,
what a silly time we live in now. Oh.
What do you mean?
Pencils.
10 million pencils in the landfill.
Yeah. I like what the CBC has been doing lately is really focusing on that this was a bogus election, that it shouldn't have been called. Like they seem to be really hammering that. And I'm hoping that people are getting the message, right? And even if they don't vote CBC or, for the PPC, that they'll go, Green or an NDP, and it hurts the Liberals anyway. So I'm okay with that, right? I mean, I know they're not going to go for a more right-wing party, but if they stay away from Trudeau because this was a vanity play, then great.
Yeah.
Do it.
So yours said, I feel the CCFR is losing the moral legitimacy for not supporting the PPC. By the way, anyways, I'll talk about it in a second. The only party that is openly pro-gun rights on gun CPC Liberals. So here's the deal.
They're the most pro-gun rights, but they're not going to win.
They're not going to win. So here,
if they don't win and the Liberals win, then we're super screwed.
We're fucked.
It doesn't matter what the platform is if we're not going to form government.
Yeah.
So here's the reality. Believe it or not, those that are in the CCFR directors as well as the executive, they've examined this. Again, Rod has been diagnosed with cancer, and he's putting out videos and also doing interviews, and he is literally going through treatments and almost killing himself to make people aware of the fact that this is so important to him, and also to gun owners here in Canada, that the reality is it's a 2-horse race, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Make the decision.
I'd like to add something with the PPC, because we see in this surge the purple wave up to 7% across Canada over a month of canvassing and campaigning.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen them since last election. So you see how much excitement has been made over the last month. Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Get the Liberals out this time. And you know what? Instead of disappearing over the next 4 years,
build a party.
Build that hype over the next 4 years. Be out there. Don't just disappear when there's not an election, because you only see them during an election.
You can't go from a party that has 0 seats to actually winning an election at all.
No.
But you need to.
And in a different election, when handguns weren't going to be taken away from a majority of Canadians, maybe do a protest vote. But right now, the prospect is that Quebec will have their handguns banned, BC will have their handguns banned, and then after that, the idea of getting popular support or gun owners to support whatever party's got a good gun policy, it's gone. We lose our voting block with those handgun owners.
Yep.
So it's I would say, like, in the past, there's been times when it would have been okay to protest vote, but right now it's
not smart.
It will result in the gun community as a voting block getting decimated. So it's not strategically a good idea right now.
No, it will. What's going to happen is if we split our voting like we are currently doing, and the Liberals know that's what's happening. They're not stupid. They're very thankful for it. It means that here's what I predict. If we don't get our poop in a group, what's going to happen is we're going to continue to be a Liberal minority for elections to come.
Mm-hmm.
And
Liberal minority hell. Oh.
Yeah. So, I actually, as I said, I like some of the PPC. Believe it or not, I like some of the PPC policies. But right now, we can promise everything. Max can promise whatever he wants, but he knows what's the reality is. But if we, as people who want our firearms, and again, this is a gun podcast, we know that strategic voting has to take place in order for that to happen. Richard Lee says, I'd have voted PPC if there was a chance of a tangible success. This is an election where you have to vote for the least worst. Yes, it's actually correct.
Well, it's not the least worst. Like the CPC's gun policy isn't that bad. It's got some good stuff in it. The simplified classification. If they got a majority, that simplified classification, solves all kinds of problems.
I will tell you that the progressive conservatives, they've consulted with the gun lobbies. I'll just let you know that they have done with that.
Conservatives anymore, though. They're just called the conservatives, I'm pretty sure, aren't they?
Yeah. Canadian Progressive Conservatives, the CPC.
Oh, no, yeah. I guess,
yeah. The reality is they chatted with people that we know in some ways, and that's actually bit them in the ass, by the way. We all know about the whole history behind that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reality is
stuff. Yeah.
Go out, vote, hand out the pamphlets, talk to people, make a smart choice if you do go to the polls. If you have already gone to the polls, well, God help you. Anyways, that's it. Right?
Cool.
Okay. We will get on to listener feedback, sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, and Cerakote finishes, as well as wood refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms accessories, optics, and more at www.dcgunsmith.ca. You can also check him out on Facebook and Instagram. Mm-hmm. We have one email.
We have a couple.
Yeah,
we have two from Josh, and we have one from James B, who is also Ginger Snap.
Do we have any volunteers from the class? Anybody?
No.
I'll take this first one.
Yeah.
I saw how long it was.
No.
Hello, everyone. A few separate topics in this email, so please bear with me. It's Bear, B-A-R-E. So
don't even go.
He wrote this naked. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, seriously, oh boy. I didn't edit it. So this is from Josh V. I just have to say he put in this email. Thank you. All right,
naked.
Go.
That's how he put it in. To begin with, way to go, Tracy Wilson, Kels Bells, and anyone else who had a hand in the recent campaign here in Kingston. Even the mayor shared Tracy's efforts on his social media. Perhaps his share wasn't in the same spirit, but a share nonetheless. Way to go, Tracy. And hopefully by the time this is aired, Kelly will have delivered another blow to the Liberal riding in Kingston with another campaign.
Well, I do know that I got blocked by Mark Garrettson. Yay.
That's a milestone, yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah,
secondly,
right?
a couple of episodes ago, a listener had emailed in asking for your opinion on purchasing one pistol and trying to master it, or buying multiple pistols and shooting them all at the same time with multiple hands. I believe he was trying to decide which was best to make him a better shooter as fast as possible. The consensus among the Slamfire crew was to concentrate on one pistol, master it, and I'm not sure I agree. Consider this. I have multiple makes and models of pistol, some of which fit my hand naturally and allow me to acquire an instant line of sight. Others don't fit my grip, and I feel a little bit odd, and I struggle to gain line of sight quickly. The first pistol I purchased was like this. It didn't fit me well. I was always uncomfortable and swimming around trying to secure line of sight. I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong and just thought I wasn't very good at shooting handguns. I'm still no good, really. It wasn't until I purchased my second pistol that I realized I wasn't the entire problem. When I fired the new pistol, the learning curve progressed quickly as I finally had something I was comfortable with. I agree that rather than purchasing one pistol and master shooting it, it would be beneficial to shoot multiple firearms, and once comfortable with a certain make and model, fine-tune your skills and become a more proficient shooter. Finally, in a recent episode, the theme was the top. First comments.
Yep.
I think he's actually have to remember back. I think we were saying, like, if you can go try out the guns, find one that fits you right, and then because he's a brand new shooter, got used to it, and he's
a new pistol shooter ish.
Do you want to hear like a hot take that's completely flies? Like, I don't give a damn how it fits in your hand. Go buy a Shadow 1 or a Shadow 2. You don't know what fits good or what is good when you're a new shooter, and you're just going to buy something stupid.
Yeah.
Like you'll go buy like an M&P because it feels good in your hand, but then you'll skip over the Shadow or something like that.
Or buy that M&P that's $2,299.
The fancy M&P.
That's okay.
That's okay too.
Kelly Kincaid, who works at SFRC, and she's the other Kelly, by the way. Try before you buy. Great idea. Go to the range and go with somebody who has a lot of different pistols, or go to the store. Try it. You can't really try it if you're at the store. You can try it out for fit and feel.
If there's a range attached to it, you can. But still, unless you're an accomplished pistol shooter, you don't know what you're looking at. It'd be like someone trying to buy a race car and they don't know anything about cars. They just got their license and they will. Should I get a Ferrari or should I get a pickup truck? And you drive it and you're like, I like the cup holders in this one. It's like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You need to get the one that is like the most. So maybe if you had a friend that like really know what they were doing, come with you. They and like guide you a little bit and make sure you don't get some snowflakey weird pistol that has no holsters or mag pouches out there for it.
Mm-hmm.
So the go-to is the CZ 1 or 2.
I'm trying to fit everyone in, like pigeonhole everyone here, but it might not be. It might be a different gun, but I guess my argument is that
can I give you an argument on that?
Mm-hmm.
I said so. My argument is you need to get the fundamentals under your belt first, because if you can buy a Tamfoglio or whatever, and you can shoot like shit because you don't have the fundamentals under your belt. If you have those, you can go and you can buy, or you can shoot any pistol and do a really good job of it. By the way, did I tell you at the Odell range days, we were on the Glock range and Kelly and I were shooting, and the Glock guys were going, yeah, you guys are out shooting the guys. Like,
you've had a little bit of training though, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit of shooting.
Kelly's an amazing shooter, and we've been doing a little bit of pistol shooting, but we have the fundamentals under our belt. You can take any firearm, whether it has a crappy trigger or not, or anything like that, and you can shoot it, and you can shoot it well because you have the fundamentals. And then go, I don't need a Tamfoglio. I like my CZ Shadow. I can shoot it well.
Maybe like going to taking a fundamentals course first. Even with a borrowed gun, and then go buy a gun. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah. Then you'd have a little bit of experience, and you'd know what you like or what you don't like.
The reality is there isn't a lot of pistol fundamentals courses out there. There's none.
Not really.
No. Josh Rader. So we were reading a couple of his emails. He's the one that sent in this email, and he said he picked up an MP2 from SFRC today. Bare bones. Mm-hmm. Okay, Josh, we're going to go.
Yeah, fine as a like a combat pistol, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to keep going here. Finally, in a recent episode, the theme was the top 5 guns you would like to have regardless of price. I found it interesting the approach that Adriel, Mo, and Hef took on this, each expressing a different set of needs and therefore a completely different selection of firearms.
Yeah.
Adriel commented that one of his top 5 guns would be a Grey Birch 22 fully tricked out. I've unintentionally become an unofficial ambassador for these firearms as of late. I purchased one a couple of years ago and kept upgrading it as new items were released. Now, after the continuous upgrades, I ended up with a Grey Birch Foundation chassis, complete with the fusion barrel and action, refined rifle wood grips, Timney trigger, extended ARCA-friendly rail, and Parka compensator. It's beautiful. See below. Also, as I added upgrade after upgrade, I've been left with an almost complete original Grey and Birch 22 with carbon fiber barrel and Magpul stock.
Yeah.
That's what happens. My spare stuff is though Ruger stuff though. I've got like barrel and like a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
The original Grey Birch, like the Ruger 1022, had a V-block system that secured the barrel to the action.
Yeah.
Though it was an industry standard for years, many people had issues with it over time. Incorrect torque settings, accuracy issues, etc. That is until Grey Birch reinvented the wheel and introduced their fusion system, where the barrel now comes from the factory, attached to the receiver with a barrel nut that's torqued to exacting specifications.
Before they did that, they put out the V-block though, so they didn't have barrel droop.
Yeah, I don't like the V-block solution.
Yeah.
Like, it works, it's okay, but like, is it a good solution? No, it pulls down on the barrel. Like a nut is better.
Yeah,
a nut's
absolutely
better. Yeah,
go with the upgrade.
If Ruger had originally gone with the barrel nut, that's what all the aftermarket manufacturers would be using, is just a plain barrel nut, and it would be great.
All right, sorry I interrupted. Go.
It shoots under 1 MOA out of the box. Because I've upgraded so much, the original Grey Birch is now a spare that I rarely use. As such, I've decided, if they're interested, to donate it to the cause. I'm willing to donate this little gem to Slamfire Radio in order to use it as they see fit. You should.
Thank you.
Okay. The only prerequisite depends on the election results of the 21st.
Right?
If the Liberals get reelected, regardless of majority or minority, the funds raised by this must be donated to the CCFR legal challenge, because that'll be our last hope of any security surrounding our firearms.
Yeah.
If the Conservatives win the election, majority or minority, Slamfire can keep the money raised to use as they see fit. I'll keep it from Maple Seed. Doesn't matter for me. It makes sense for Maple Seed.
I love Josh. Okay, here's the deal. It's not the end of his email, by the way. Even with if the Conservatives get into a minority government, the OIC challenge will still be in effect, but the reality is,
hopefully they just roll over, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we're suing you guys. Can you guys please lose?
Yeah,
that would be great.
That's
we, the government, are wrong.
So here's the reality with that. If the Liberal government wins, we are totally screwed. If the Conservative government wins, it'll be an extension of the amnesty. It will be heard. And during that hearing period, the Conservatives have already promised to do a review. And I'm hoping that, read between the lines,
the classification.
Yeah. So, anyways, I really, it's going to take millions of dollars, by the way. Okay, go.
CCFR and Slamfire crew both put a great deal of effort into protecting our gun rights, and every penny that goes their way is well earned. And every effort they initiate helps us all retain our rights and freedoms. Thanks, Josh. Your $5 will be in the mail very soon for saying that. Those nice words about us. In closing, I'd like to just encourage everyone to vote for the Conservatives this round, as it's the lesser of two evils. Conservatives let us down somewhat when they reversed their stance on the OIC gun ban. As such, many have contemplated changing their votes to the People's Party. I agree with this and will likely follow suit, but not in this election. This election is the single most important one that we have seen as gun owners. Can't afford to split our vote this time. Rally together and vote Conservative. The People's Party cannot win the election, simply don't have enough seats. If the vote's split, the Liberals have the best chance of winning. If the Liberals win, as Rod Giltack has been warning, we may as well hand over the keys to our gun safes to the government. That makes them in Alberta, but all you Quebec people and BC people are screwed. Not me for now. I'm in danger soon, though.
That's actually one of my talking points with respect to the Liberals, by the way. The alienation and the West wanting to separate.
Oh, so yeah. Western alienation. Yeah, we become the aliens.
Yeah, you are.
We need a change in government immediately, and voting Conservative is the only way to make this happen. A big thank you to, again, Tracy, Kelly, Adriel, Trevor, Random Dave, Hef, and Mo, and everyone that has put an effort into bringing the shooting community together. Most importantly, Mr. Giltaka, thank you and get well soon. Hundreds of thousands of Canadians are rooting for you. Without you being the glue, there would be many Canadian gun owners without direction or a sense of community.
That's a really awesome email. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
Yeah.
Kind of summed up our 45-minute like rambling.
Yeah, he did.
We should have started with that. That would make it quicker.
Yeah.
I'll read the next one because it's a question about regarding an app I mentioned. So he says, I think Mo mentioned an app that he uses for shooting called the Practice or Competitor app. I cannot find it in the App Store. Perhaps I have the name recorded incorrectly. I use an app called Ballistic X for accuracy and measuring shot groupings. Any other shooting apps that you find useful? Thanks. It's a practice score space competitor in the App Store.
Yeah, practice score is one word.
One word, space competitor.
Okay.
To find it.
Okay.
Does Ballistic X do like drops and reticle holdover and all that kind of stuff?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Strelok, but
I use Strelok for my stuff.
Yeah. They all do the same thing. Yeah.
They all do. Who wants to read the one from James B. Ginger Snap? I don't know. Can we call him Ginger Snap since Trevor's not here?
We'll go with James.
Okay. James B. Anyways.
From James B. What's better than a 1911? A 2011? What's better than a 2011? A Glock. Wait. How about a 3011?
So he had provided the link for it. Did anybody click on it? I didn't.
Oh, I've seen this one before already. It's the 1911 slide on like an AR lower 3D printed thing. It's kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
We're not allowed that.
We're not allowed that.
We're not allowed that.
But it's 3D printable.
It's cute. It's awesome. But we're not allowed that. All right.
Maybe like a manufacturer could make it for us. Spectre Ballistics has 3D printed a couple of things. I think he was one of the first to do 3D printed AR. Ask him if he can make some of these.
Okay.
Hey Tristan, can you 3D print us some of these things? They look real neat.
Why don't you talk to him then?
I wonder if you made it a rifle.
Shorty.
Oh. No, but what if you use like really long barrel?
Rifle? Keep it a pistol.
Because it could be non-restricted.
Yeah.
Weird. Oh, weird. All sorts of weirdness with that. It's a 1911 slide on there. AR trigger group.
Yeah.
It's like you took the 3D modeling for a couple of pistols and you just went, just combine them.
Now kiss.
Now kiss.
Now kiss.
Okay.
Yes.
If you'd like to email the show, please do so at slamfireradio@gmail.com. It helps us practice our reading skills, so that's always great.
I'm sure we'll be getting more.
Sure. Bring them on.
After tonight's. Anyways. Yeah, okay.
You were going to say something, Kelly?
Oh, totally not.
What do you mean probably not?
I said totally not.
Oh, totally not. Okay.
The thoughts and opinions of Slamfire Radio are only our thoughts and opinions.
Yeah.
They're not paid by any political party or anything.
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately, nobody's paying me for anything, so.
Yeah, we get paid zero.
Cool. If a political party wants to pay us, we will shill for you. Yes. Oh, yeah, we will.
I'm out there in the street. No, I'm out there in the street giving it away every day, so nobody's paying me anything.
Okay. Well, that's actually
I'm kidding.
Good topic. Like, it's a good thing to talk about. Why are we talking about who we are supporting or not supporting or whatever? Like, we're heavily. So some of us, especially, are heavily, and I mean heavily, invested in the future of firearms in our country. Mm-hmm. Like Project Maple Seed are going to be impacted by a Liberal government. CCFR Ladies' Day heavily impacted by a government.
I mean, one of
IPSC,
the promises for
I go to an IPSC match almost every weekend. So if there's no handguns and no pistol shooting,
it's gonna suck.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a pretty bored camper. So,
You're right.
So to be specific, your handguns would be taken because you're in Quebec, and they would take that money to ban those handguns. And on Maple Seed, one of the Liberal Party platform promises is to limit rifle mags to 5 rounds.
Correct.
Period.
So,
and they didn't say center fire or rim fire or semi-auto or any of that kind of stuff. They just said long guns.
But the reality,
that includes shotguns too.
Here's the reality: it's not going to be just handguns. It's not going to be reality rifles, hunting calibers, etc. Liberals have said, or other parties have said, that they're not going to be happy unless all firearms are gone. Done. Totally.
Yeah.
And I know that Adriel spends a significant part of his time with Maple Seed and other projects like 3Gun and etc. And I do as well. And that's why we are so vocal about this. We're on the show tonight talking about it. It's really important.
We want to keep enjoying what we enjoy, right?
Yeah, so it's important.
The other side's on a crusade to take everything away, and we just want to, keep doing what we're doing.
And right now, our community is divided. We need to unite our community. That's it. Yep. That's all I have to say about that. Meet me outside.
Where exactly is this going to be?
I believe it's Cash Me Outside.
Cash Me Outside. Yeah, I know. But anyways, 4% of the GDP impacted by a liberal government. Yeah. Hi, Kelly. She's watching.
Hi, Kelly.
Yeah. So a lot of people are commenting. It's great to get so many comments as well. And quite frankly, everybody has the ability to comment or is able to have opinions as well. But let's be real. Let's be real about what our chances are or what's going to be happening as well. I do know that there's been a lot of interest in the PPC, and that's great. And again, I support a lot of their ideology, what they have to say. But I also know that one, they need to get better vetting of their candidates because Seaman Boy. And that's driving Google searches. Yes, they're up to 40%. And that's not just people who are interested in PPC. Those are people who are going, what the fuck? Just saying. But let's be real. Right? Let's be real.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you'd like to support the show, please do through Patreon. To those who are supporting us, thank you very much. It keeps us looking and sounding wonderful every week, I guess. Yes?
Looking. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not so sure about sounding either, but it keeps us on
keeps us on the air.
It keeps my head shiny. That's good, right? So
yeah, again, this is all of our own opinions. They're not other people's. Not people aren't paying for them. For our show sponsors. So that's why I'm going. Yeah. Anyways, no political parties.
Who anybody have a shout out for tonight?
I have a few.
Kelly?
I wanted to give a shout out to Doug Johnson again for coming out to the Ladies' Day shoot and providing me with some Jameson Stout Edition for tonight's broadcast. I also want to give a shout out to Dean Carr for 100% supporting ladies getting into shooting. I also want to give a shout out to all of the CCFR RSOs that attended the shoot this past weekend, and then also all the field officers that have been here in Kingston that have been handing out those pamphlets. And my ladies, my hashtag, my tribe. Tracy Wilson's birthday is tomorrow, so if you are on Facebook or if you're a part of a community, wish her a happy birthday, because right now she's not at home. She's not with her family, but she's out in Toronto trying to make a difference so that you can keep your guns. So go wish her a happy birthday. Just saying. Happy birthday, Tracy. That's it.
Okay. Adriel, Kyle?
Yeah.
Nothing for me.
Shout out to the animals who presented themselves, but I would ask a favor that next time make sure that you're shootable, please.
Yeah. Hopefully they're listening. No.
My freezer's getting empty, so it needs to get restocked.
Josh, I love you, by the way.
Present.
Yeah,
Stand tall and free of any trees or bushes.
Yeah. Regardless of who wins, we'll be back in the polls in 18 months if Trudeau doesn't get into his majority. You're absolutely 100% correct.
Until he gets his coronation, we're going to have to go through this. Yeah, that's great. My shout out is to Norbert at the EOSC. If you'll remember a bunch of episodes ago when I talked about my mag spring that went flying and I could never find it. Well, it was at that location, and sure enough, he walks up to me at the Steel Challenge and he's like, he hands me the spring because he had found it when they were doing the teardown later that day, and he kept it for me all that time, and I was like so happy.
Nice.
So now I actually kept it. I kept the base and I kept the follower and everything. So
wow, that's great that you did that so that he could do that.
Yeah, I was pretty stoked that I have a 6th mag I can use. So thank you, Norberto. And check us out on Gunners of Canada. Like us on
we're
Facebook.
on there occasionally.
Stay away from the other one these days because it's a tire
cesspool.
Fire. Yeah, it's train wreck, tire fire.
It's fine.
Yeah,
just go into the gun subs, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, no,
it's not the general one.
Give us a review. Oh,
I was just gonna say. By the way, we're all in here. We're all after the same goal. Be nice to each other. Don't be assholes.
Yeah.
But I like being an asshole.
No, you're not an asshole at all. You're the exact opposite.
Something about flies and honey. I don't know. I can't remember it now. So,
yeah.
Someone was telling me about that, and I just tuned out. Yeah.
Don't be. Yeah. Anyways.
Give us a review on Facebook. Join the CCFR, of course, very important. And thank you for listening. And see you next week.
Good night, Kelly.
Good night, Kelly.
See you next week.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening.